to order a little bit early because we have a special presentation, and there's some commitments that they have that they need to come and go. So if you can, first thing we'll do is stand, have a moment of silence, and then we'll ask Dr. Simcox to lead the pledge. Dr. Simcox.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Matheson?
Here.
Mr. Payne?
Here.
Ms. Reese? Here. Mr. Carlson?
Here.
Ms. Patterson? Here.
All right, I'm going to let Dr. Simcox make the presentation.
We would like to present, and if they would come up, that would be okay. I'd like to have the Reese family come up. Many of you are very fortunate, as I was, to know Brad and his family. I'm fortunate to be great friends with them, and I love them all dearly. It was a great loss when we lost him last month, and we wanted to honor him for all of the work he did for Johnson County Schools, not only for the youth, but also, you know, announcing ball games, just being at every event, being so passionate about Johnson County Schools. He was a proud graduate of Johnson County High School. I know that. You know, he was so proud of his boys, so proud of his family, and he is going to be greatly missed. And we just wanted to honor him for all he's done for Johnson County Schools over the year and for the youth. You know, he's coached both my boys. He's coached numerous kids, and definitely a great loss to our community. So I was going to see if the board members had anything they wanted to share.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of just reiterate what Dr. Simcox has said. You know, Brad has been an integral part of my kids growing up all the way from T-ball all the way up through high school. And Brad always brought Christian values to everything that he did, and I know that was one thing that his family is most proud of, and he's raised 3 excellent boys. And we're going to miss Brad greatly. We have the deepest regard for his family, and I'm just proud that we can make at least a small token of appreciation tonight, and for Miss Tina, who helps teach at the school.
I don't know that I could add anything. I appreciate it.
Joanne?
I know Brad was a great guy, and he's rubbed off on these kids here. I see one of them in the youth league calling ball games, and I see his dad up at the softball field every now and then calling the softball games for the radio. And I know where he got it from. He's going to be missed.
Gary?
I thought a lot of Brad. There wasn't a time that I didn't run into his family somewhere. I'd always ask how his situation was. And he was just a great asset to Johnson County. And like has been spoken of, that he has created a great family. Mm-hmm. And he came from a great family. And I just hate we've lost him.
So on behalf of Johnson County School System, we want to present his mom and dad and sister with a plaque, and also Tina and the boys, that just says, "In appreciation for his outstanding and dedicated service to the youth of Johnson County." This is
Love y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you fixed my sign. Good luck.
Go get him, Graham.
Go get them.
All right, the next item we have is the CER, which is Comprehensive Educational Resources, Johnson County Team Acknowledgements.
We would like to acknowledge the teachers that are a part of our CER team, and I'll let Dr. Long explain that. He sort of oversees that. But this is a consortium that we're in with the first district, which is Morristown to Johnson County. That's considered the first district. And we're in a consortium where we have our teachers work with other teachers, and we do benchmark assessments so we can sort of guide how we are and use resources from other systems. So we want to honor those people, but I will let Stephen sort of.
CER, as Dr. Simcox just said, all of First, which is Upper East Tennessee, with some other counties, Jefferson, Sevier, Crockett, is that right? Crockett has jumped in, and the philosophy behind it is that all of us is smarter than any of us, so to speak. So we're taking our best and brightest from across all of those counties, and they're submitting the materials that they use when they teach their classes. And they're being housed on a website for everyone to access. We're just getting this off the ground. And I could go on and on about this for a while, but to cut to the chase, that best and brightest from across those included 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of our own. And we're really, really proud of them. And they weren't all able to be here, but I want to recognize all of them regardless. So I'm going to call their name. If you are here, please come forward and be recognized for your outstanding contribution. And before I start calling out names, let me say this. No one knew this year was going to happen when this idea was dreamed up. So not only have we had 12 be part of this, but they've been part of this under some pretty undesirable circumstances. And they've powered through it like they've powered through everything else. So I think they deserve a round of applause before we even get started. So first, kindergarten teacher at Doe Elementary, Laura Baird. First grade at Mountain City Elementary, Chastity Arnold. Third grade at Mountain City Elementary, Samantha Childers. Fourth grade, I should have been given their subject, but science at Roan Creek Elementary, Amber Griever. Fifth grade ELA at Mountain City Elementary, Jordan Chambers. Seventh grade ELA at the middle school, Jessica Radford. Seventh grade social studies, Julian Cruz, Johnson County Middle School, and he asked me to tell you all that he deeply regrets that he can't be here. He is on the baseball field. He asked me specifically to tell you all that. Eighth grade science, Johnson County Middle School, Susan Quave. Ninth grade, yes, stay up here with us. Picture it. Ninth grade ELA, Johnson County High School, Clarissa Schmall. 10th grade ELA, Johnson County High School, Heather Taylor. 10th grade geometry, Johnson County High School, Rebecca Boyd. And 11th grade history, Johnson County High School, Ashley Holt.
We can get a picture real quick. Take your shoes off. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all so much.
And I have two audience participation requests. And the first one that was turned in is May Matheson.
Good evening. I am May Matheson, and I'm from Doe Valley. We have children that go to Doe Valley School, and the reason I am here is about the road going up to Doe Valley School. We love our school. It's a beautiful building, but trying to get up that hill and pick up the kids and the buses trying to pass. I actually have a list of names that people have signed wanting to get the road fixed. I talked to Mr. Matheson about this, and he felt like it was the best thing is to come before the board and see what could be done about it. But just a few of the things that goes on is there's a line of cars and the buses is trying to come around them. The road is really breaking up and the cars is getting off on the side in the grass and the mud. And if you're behind some of those cars, you're getting mud slung all over you. They're spinning out, and I know what happened to me a few times was I was trying to back off around the steep curve so the car in front of me could get back on the pavement to, you know, get on up the hill. I thought they was going off of the hill, but that's why I'm here, is just to represent the taxpayers of Doe Valley and us try to get something done for the road going into the school. And like I say, I do have names that people signed. They're all his mothers, fathers, grandparents, guardians over the kids. And it's just that they pick the kids up, they don't ride the buses, and it's just been a problem. And especially with the rains that we had, the last big rain we had, as we went up the hill, the ditch was full of water and all the rocks come out on the pavement down the hill. That was really a mess. Well, it still is. It's a bad mess down there. So we just like to have something done about it.
Okay.
And thank you for letting me speak.
Well, we're glad you came, because it is an issue. And if you can do one of two things, you can either give us a copy of the names, or if you want to give us the list, we'll put it with your request, which will be part of our minutes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Jeff Wagner and myself, the road superintendent, went down and looked at this situation. And he says it can be fixed. It's not a big problem. He said we pull the dirt down from the bank on the left-hand side, fill it in there and pack it real good.
As you're going up.
As you're
like
going
that.
That's when you go up and turn right, that first one.
Well, yes. And then he said we'd run a new ditch line down to that drain where the road forks right there. There's a drain there. And then he said we come back in there and pack it all real good, get a good base on it, and then put new asphalt on it. But he also said on the straightaway going down to the main highway on 67, over on, as we're leaving the school grounds, it'll be over on the left-hand side. It needs to be re-ditched through there because the water is standing on the road, and he said that's what's tearing your asphalt up. And he told me, he said, you people need to, or have the people to talk to the school board and get it approved. And he said we'd try to work on this situation when school was out.
This summer.
Isn't that that's the state road, right? Does that be on the state right of ways where you're talking about?
No.
He's talking about on the property, no, right?
Doe
You know,
Valley
one-
property, yes.
Years ago, Miss Green, her class, what did she teach?
Social studies.
Yeah, but it was,
It was We the People.
yeah, We the People. Miss
Yeah.
Green's class got together and proposed a new road. And they did an
additional-
excellent job. It's been needed for probably ever since they built the place. My request, I guess, if, you know, I'm just one person, but I mean, if what the board will listen to everybody, would be that we look at something again. I know that when they talked about a loop, which is really what it needs, an in and an out, the property, if you look at Doe, on the right-hand side, at the time, the property owner didn't want us to do anything, wouldn't budge. I don't know that we ever looked at the property on the left-hand side, if somebody would give us a little bit of width.
Is it the same owner? I
Same
think it's
owner.
the same owner in it, Herbie.
No, property on the left side is owned by
Oh, isn't it?
Okay.
The only
But-
problem we have right there, excuse
Yeah,
me, is a water line that goes up on that left-hand side, because that's why I had to get the blueprints of the property to show Mr. Wagner.
there's a water line there.
And the city, what's his name, Chris Hook, he came down there. And his water line goes up that left-hand side, up to it, main water line. Then over here on the other side, as you crest the top there, is a water line goes up there to that fire hydrant. So that was one thing that Mr. Wagner was concerned about, is where any water lines were at.
Yeah,
He didn't want to get into that and do a lot of
Yeah.
damage.
makes sense.
So, to widen that road,
To do something to it.
you could probably get, I don't know how many feet you cannot get, within that water line with the equipment, but
Right.
Well,
Well, one of the things I wonder, we've been talking about the improvements we're gonna make under ESSER. And we've done a lot of things with the ESSER dollars. Is I'm just wondering if the board would be willing to entertain, and Sean Shanks are working with us on Mount City Elementary, if we could involve them also to see about widening or to see about some new alternative. I mean, it really needs a loop, but,
Yeah.
it may not be possible, but, because we had talked about, or Miss Green's class had talked about going up and then going out behind the gym and then out the road. But,
you're talking about going across Mr. Stansbury's property.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah. And that wasn't a possibility then. But, I mean, if we have the architects look at something, whether it be, because it does need to be a lot wider if we're gonna do that, because you're talking about school buses like what you're saying.
Because maintenance department looked at it, y'all, okay. Didn't know whether you looked at it or not.
So I'm wondering, would
We
the
would
board
need to get
entertain
the
that?
architect- We would need
Sure.
to get the architect involved.
Yeah.
Would the board entertain that while
Sure.
we're,
I make a motion that that we let the architects take a look at it.
okay, yeah, we have to have we don't really need a motion, but,
Yeah.
I take your suggestion, I agree with you. Kevin,
Sure.
Joanne?
Yeah,
All right, so we're gonna look at it, make a serious look, either at fixing the road, or we'd love to make a loop, where you go in one end,
That
go
would
out
be
the
That's
other.
what we would love to do.
That would be great.
But
have the
again,
property.
that's been a thing we've been dealing with for years, but we appreciate you coming, because
Yep.
that's always been an issue. Thank you. Okay, this is, all right, I'm sorry, I can't read the name. John, I hate to just call you John, but I can't read the last name. What's the last name?
Lucas,
Lucas, okay.
you might want me to present this next one. You're sending out awards, so I don't want to get it. It's about the 619 project and the critical race theory in this county. And I can come back next month.
can you speak up low, please?
It's about the what now?
619 project and the critical race theory. Have you all heard about it?
Why are we,
No.
why are you presenting it to us? We don't have that in our schools.
Well, I realize that maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it here because in Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville.
I had not heard about the critical race theory until I was at the legislative conference a few weeks ago, and that is something that the legislators are looking at to vote on. I don't know where it's at, if it even went through the House or the Senate subcommittees yet.
But
Yeah, but that would be more an issue for the legislators, because, if
Yeah.
if they end up passing it and saying we have to teach it, then we have to. But that's the first time I had heard of it, was a few weeks
But
ago.
I can come back next.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Because
Let's
you've
do
got all these
some.
people with awards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get
Well,
this up
okay.
confused.
My suggestion would be, let's wait and see what the legislature
Legislature
does.
does,
I
and then
doubt
we'll see.
Well, I've already
Tennessee's,
talked with the legislature.
yeah, I doubt Tennessee's gonna pass something like that, and if
I've
it
already-
did,
I didn't want to bring it up, but I've already talked with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what
If
the
they
bill
don't
number
pass it,
is?
then it's not an issue for us.
What's the
Well,
bill?
why is it Nashville, why is it Nashville, Memphis? And it's,
They do a lot of things we don't do in Johnson County.
Right.
Yeah. Let's wait and see if it does come, and if it does come,
it's
then,
too late for you.
No, I mean, it'd have to still be approved. There's nothing we can do unless it does come, but I mean, I don't know that
I'm thrilled to death it's not in here.
Yeah,
But it's in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not in Columbus, Ohio. So at least you guys, maybe you're aware of it.
yeah, we're aware of it.
Yeah, I'll look it up, make sure.
Do you know
I'm aware
what
of
bill
it.
number it is? What the House bill number or Senate bill
Senate
number
bill.
is?
I'll just probably go.
The representative I've been talking to, he said go for it. So he or she is, I don't want to mention names at all, but he's the one who told me to proceed. And so I have to wait till next month if you want me to, and I can get back with him and tell him that they don't want to bring this up until the legislature passes their bill.
Call.
Right.
And that's we're just trying to be fair with everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to bring his.
That's okay. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Logan. All right, let's move on to the next item, which is the consent agenda.
Critical race theory.
Does anyone
Check
see
critical
anything on the
race
consent
theory.
agenda that you want to remove and discuss, or do we have a motion?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlson?
Yes. Next item is report of student board member Lauren Patterson.
All right. Happy April. As the school year runs into spring, we are thrilled to transition into finalizing this semester. April 14th are National Honor Society inductions, and congratulations to all current and new members on their induction. April 17th, JCHS robotics teams will be competing in the VEX Virtual States event, so wish them luck on an additional challenge. Johnson County High School is hosting a blood drive on April 21st. Contact Ms. Wiggins, Ms. Boyd, or NHS members to schedule an appointment. AP exam schedules are posted outside Ms. Mullins' office. Students, please check for your exam and begin studying. Our tennis, baseball, and softball teams have varying matches approaching, both home and away, so be sure to come out and support our athletes. Senior scholarship deadlines are behind and in front of us. Be sure to apply and pay attention to the dates. Thank you and happy spring.
Thank you, Lauren.
Lauren, can you, I didn't quite catch that VEX Robotics. Is that a virtual, or are you going to that, or?
So there's an in-person and there's a virtual states, but we are going to be attending the virtual. We have like a mock competition that we're going to be doing in the middle school gym to like honor the teams as the last like in-person like actual competition. But for states, we're just going to be submitting our notebook, our skills runs, and then some interviews with the judges.
Now, can that, if you win that, can you go into Worlds? Is
Yes,
that right?
sir. Yes,
Okay.
there's since we aren't going in person, the awards we can get are limited, but there's still a solid chance we can go to Worlds.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next item is approved TSBA 2022 membership dues.
And that's just the yearly due that we have for TSBA.
Hadn't increased any?
I don't think it had increased any.
No.
Has that increased any?
No.
Make a motion, we approve those membership dues.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
No.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlson?
Yes. Next item is recommendation of tenure
Yes,
candidates.
it's that time of year. Once Angie will be getting their portfolios to you electronically, and we'll be bringing them to the May board meeting for you to approve. But I just wanted to tell you who they were. Melanie Adams teaches special ed at Doe Elementary. That is Herbie's wife. Christy Shoshi is the high school, middle school English coach. Heidi Curley teaches English at Johnson County High School. Zachary Pittman teaches history at Johnson County High School. And Chris Dunbar teaches social studies at Johnson County Middle School. And they're all wonderful teachers, so we definitely highly recommend them. But we will bring that to you in May for a vote, but Angie will be getting their portfolios to you.
All
So you
right.
can look at those.
Next item is the first reading of Johnson County Board of Education policy changes.
Yes.
Grading system, personal and professional leave, and compulsory attendance ages.
Yes. Policy 4.600, grading system. I'm actually going to let Dr. Long sort of speak to this. I know it's been a year since we had board retreat. We actually brought this to you all as a discussion point at board retreat last year, and then COVID hit. So this is something we definitely want to implement next year. This only impacts the high school. So he just wanted to go over the highlighted, just a little brief summary so you would know what this meant.
Yeah, I'll be very
Just to
brief.
refresh your memory.
I'll be very brief, and then I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. So, yeah, a year ago at Board Retreat, we did a little presentation on this, and you all gave your blessing for us to bring a policy for your consideration, but then we just tabled it for a year because everything was a mess. The thought process behind this is, in a nutshell, a lot of our students, particularly as they reach upperclassmen status, are shying away from our best and most challenging courses because they don't want to do damage to their grade point average. And that actually, it's easy to realize that that actually runs counter to what is in their best interest as far as their learning and their achievement. And couple that with the fact that colleges care more about their ACT score these days than they do their GPA anyway. We wanted to put something in place that would incentivize them to go ahead and take those courses. So everybody's familiar with a 4.0. They say so-and-so's got a 4.0 grade point average. That's a perfect grade point average. This would weight college prep classes at a 4.25 for an A. Honors classes would weight at a 4.5 for an A. And then statewide dual would weight at a 4.75, and then dual enrollment and AP. You'll also see some other things listed there. Cambridge IB, which is International Baccalaureate. We don't have those currently, but most other districts have that in their policy. If we ever did adopt one of those, we wouldn't have to bring a new policy before you to add it. So for us, that would be like dual through Northeast State or any other university or college, and then our AP courses, those weight at a full 5.0. So the whole idea is just to incentivize students to want to take these classes and not have to be concerned about running their GPA down. And they'll get the best classes we have to offer. That's the idea. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
And that we definitely recommend this.
Thanks for your time.
On 5.303, personal and professional leave, currently we have in our policy that professional employees will earn 2 days per year of sick. And actually what we do in our policy is you get 3 days. 2 of those will roll over to sick. 1 of those, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's in essence what we say for personal days. And that is, we wanted to change that to 3 due to that's what's always been in the JCEA contract. Instead of saying 2 days per year, you get 3, that's what we've always given them. We've always gave them 3 personal days. Don't know why it was never updated in the policy. And then we want to add a statement that those 3 days, instead of 2 of them would roll over, 1 of them you would lose. In essence, that's saying take a day off. And this year has been hard because we've had so many days off. You don't want to say please take a day off or you're going to lose it. So we would like for those 3 days to roll over to sick instead of. So I've talked to the principals about this. They definitely recommend that as well. So that's the only thing that's changing. And then with 6.201 compulsory attendance ages, we needed to remove the statement about 5-year-olds by September the 30th because we needed to follow a state statute on that, which is August the 15th. So it's just following what state statute is by removing that statement.
Would let kids get in a little earlier.
Yes.
Any questions?
Director, on the leave thing here, is sick leave the only thing that the teachers accrue?
No, they get 3 personal days. That's what I was explaining.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they get sick leave and then they get 3 personal days.
Okay.
Currently, of those 3 days, 2 of those, if you don't use them, they roll over to sick.
Okay.
1, if you don't use, you lose. We don't want them to lose a day, so we want to be able to roll all 3 days over to sick.
Okay. All right. That clears up some things for me then.
All right, next item is approve the summer work list.
Yes, I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Adams. He's been working with the principals. As of right now, we have been in conversations with the prison. They're not sure if we'll get inmate labor or not. So that's why when you look at this list, it's definitely a lot different than it has been in the past.
This list was compiled after going around and meeting with the principals, and Mr. Smiley and I went around You have to consider, we've got 3 men that'll be doing this all summer. You get to the end there, system-wide, 83 interactive TVs and 30 water fountains. And, there's a lot that'll be going on, so if the list looks kind of short, that's it. But for 3 men, they're going to have to work hard to get this done this summer.
At one time, we were, I guess before the prison came in, we were hiring, like, seniors, interns. to
We
do
actually,
some work.
we actually talked about that today.
We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with the American Job Center, and 17 to 18-year-olds, we can get them working at the bus garage with their custodians if they just happen to want to work, and they'll pay them up to $10 an hour. So the word's out there. I've met with all my teachers. American Job Center's met with them. They just have to meet certain criteria, which basically all of our kids could meet, should meet. So
Well,
be more than glad to give them a shot. We'd love to have them.
With the water fountains, can that be covered in some ESSER funds?
Well, that's paid for through ESSER funds. It's just putting them in.
Putting them in.
And we can't use ESSER funds to install them?
Well, our maintenance guys will have to be the ones to install them.
They've installed all the other
Yeah.
refilling stations we have.
So we just need an approval of our summer work list.
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion we approve it.
All right, got a motion, got a second?
I'll second.
All right, have a second. Can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Next item is to approve the Jewel litigation agreement.
Yes, this is a lawsuit that's going on across several states. Chris McCarty actually sent this to all of us in the first district. This is due to the vaping crisis. We do have a huge issue with vapes, especially at the middle school and the high school. Starting to see it at the elementary school
With the what, Brad?
with vapes, with vaping.
Vaping.
It's scary to know what kids can do these days and you don't get caught. I mean, vapes are very dangerous, and we try to educate our students and let them know that. But, again, I don't know if it's peer pressure, I don't know if it's the thing to do right now, but vaping's becoming a huge issue. With this lawsuit, there's no cost to our system whatsoever. A lot of systems across Tennessee are becoming a part of this lawsuit. If we win this lawsuit as a state, then we just get additional money. Money to help with vape sensors, which I've heard they don't really work. Maybe additional personnel to be able to go in and, check the bathrooms or secure. There'll just be some funding coming in if the lawsuit is won by the state of Tennessee. If it's not, there's no funds to us. We just want to say we're a part of it. So if it's won, we do get some dollar amount.
Is there a cost?
No, there's no cost.
No cost.
No.
What do they plan on doing about the fentanyl and the other drugs that's coming into the system too, into the schools?
Well, this is just a vaping lawsuit.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but they
Something
need
needs
to
to
be
be
looking
done.
into
No,
that situation.
I agree with you completely. It's definitely an issue.
We have a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion we approve that litigation.
Second?
Second.
Have a second? Any other discussion on? All right, call the roll.
I do have just one question. I noticed our bathroom doors up to high schools get damaged. And also heard that that's a good place to go in and vape.
It is.
If you guys looked at that, what we might be able to do to,
Well, we've talked about, trying to, I know Mr. Henley would like the bathrooms to go back to the way that they used to be, that we just fixed a few years ago, but, we've talked about maybe shortening the doors, trying to help out any way that we can so it's not as easy access, but,
That would be a good idea right there.
They're doing it in classrooms, they're doing it on the bus. I mean, it's not just in the bathrooms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a different one. Okay, move on.
All right,
Ready to vote?
yep.
Mr.
Call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlton?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Next item, budget update.
Since we're meeting so early in the month, I do not have revenue yet from the trustee's office or Mr. Robinson's office, but we do have the expenditures. The school department at the end of March was 67.38% of appropriations expended in the general purpose school fund, 52.91% of appropriations expended in federal projects, 47.21% of appropriations expended in central cafeteria, And Head Start, which is the calendar year project, was 26.56% of appropriations expended for the month of March. Sales tax collections that were received in March but for the month of February were $175,805. Collections were down from the prior month, but they were up $51,909 from the same month in the prior year. And those numbers are before the split occurs.
Tina, I have a question.
Yes.
That $30,000 we loaned the athletic department last year,
Yes.
has that been recovered?
Actually, I don't think that was considered a loan.
It wasn't.
I think that actually that you all set it up if it was needed, and only 12,000 was used
Okay.
But we do have in our ESSER funds to put that 12,000.
to recover those dollars. So it is being recovered, even though because we checked the board minutes also because we wanted to make certain, and it was stated that it was used as needed, but they only spent 12,000 of that. Is that right, Ms. Warren? Somewhere around 12,000.
Okay.
All right, director's report?
Yes, you had your Head Start and Pre-K information. Lori, would you like to tell them about the new registration for Head Start and Pre-K and kindergarten?
I think I told y'all last time about the new Head Start application. We're doing them online, and as of today, we have 60 new applicants. We've also worked very hard. I didn't work very hard on this one, they did, but you can also register your kindergarten child online now too. And so people just need to go to the website, the Johnson County website, and they can find in the news how to register for kindergarten or for pre-K and Head Start. So it's really good. I think Ruth Ann said they were coming in very well. So.
U-Trust Teacher Appreciation Day is coming up May the 6th, and I did want you to know we received word this week that they approved our U-Trust dollars, so we can do the school zone lights that we can access remotely. So
That'll be good.
yes, we're very excited about that. Board retreat is this Saturday at 9 a.m., so please be there at 9 a.m. We'll have a fruit tray ready, and then we will provide lunch, and hopefully have everyone out by 1. PAFO Awards is tentatively Monday, May the 3rd. We're still working on that due to COVID, trying to figure out what we're going to do as far as that goes. But when it gets closer to time, we will let you know.
What is that?
The Presidential Academic Award.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Last year we ended up doing that virtually. This year we hope to be in person, but again, we need to sort of see where we're at. But we will let you know as soon as we know that information, and that is all I've got.
All right. I just remembered something in this one policy, which one I think was a 6.201. Let's say that we have an older child that's not went through kindergarten that wants to go into the first grade. Do we handle that somehow, or?
I'll let Angie.
Because I think now, isn't it required to have kindergarten before you go to first grade? Is that right?
So I've never known of that issue.
But if it did, we would just contact the State Department and find out exactly what would be our course of action. But I imagine that they would have to go to kindergarten.
All right, Mr. Matheson?
You got anything?
Yeah, there's one employee in the central office I would like to personally thank for doing some good work, and that's Mrs. Edna Miller. I had some parents to call me about some kids that was having a struggle. And Mrs. Miller was recommended that one that I talked to, and she addressed the problem and done an excellent job at it. And I certainly appreciate your help, Ms. Miller.
He does a wonderful job.
All right, Mr. Payne?
Well, yeah, I just want to mention, I think our greenhouse has got some plants. So save me some good ones. All right, all righty. Okay. So
Charge him double.
Yes, and I have one other thing. It's all right. Doe Valley Fire Department is having a carry-out meal this coming Saturday night from 4 to 7. So if anyone wish to, go down and get your barbecue meal and take it home and eat.
4 to 7.
4 to 7, yes.
All righty. And I want to thank everybody for hanging in there. We're still having a rough time, and you know, some of these guidelines, it's hard and it's frustrating at times. But I think if you look across the country, and I've got friends in Massachusetts, Boston kids have yet to go to school a day. So I think you guys worked hard, and getting our kids in school is a great feat. I want to thank you all.
Ms. Reese?
I'd just like to thank everyone for all that they do. I know everybody's working very hard, and want you to know that you're appreciated.
Mr. Long?
Yeah, just a question, maybe a suggestion question. Personal and professional leave. Some of the other systems, and it may not be able to do it because of budget, I don't know, but some of them donate days for folks that are out sick long-term, and they can use them. Is there any way we could look at something like that?
We did check into the sick bank a few years ago. There's a lot of things with a sick bank. You know, once you start putting into a sick bank, you have to continue that. You can't just say, oh, I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
And then you have some people who might run out of days that may not necessarily need the sick bank compared to others that can still pull from it. A lot of systems are starting to get away from that.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, if you would like for us to look into it some more.
I mean,
that's
know,
been a few years ago when we checked into it.
I know there's some folks that
There's some folks that could use it.
could use it. We just have one in here that could have used it,
Yes,
probably.
yes.
And I just got, when I seen that, I just got to think about it. But thank everybody for, like I said, we say it every month. It's just incredible of what the teachers and administrators and everybody does. Drivers, custodians, what they all do to keep the school running. And I certainly do appreciate it.
All right, and I just echo whatever's been said and what we've talked about tonight. Everybody's doing a good job. Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn.